ET9 hype train will really catapult NEO into another level and cause more people to buy NEOs, just like back in 2021. All right, we got to talk about the game over situation, the change in license plate policy in Shanghai that is going to make it 3 times harder for people to get license plates. Now, anybody that tells you that this does not affect sales, they are plain out brain dead, all right? They do not have any logic. Even NEO is smart enough to advertise, say that there's 25 days left until game over, 17 days left until game over, 10 days left until game over. NEO themselves are advertising this because the policy change is pretty dramatic, all right? It's not me making up the rules, and it's not me telling you guys, getting you the sense of urgency to buy NEO now. Just buy NEO, man. If you're hesitating right now whether to buy NEO or not, do not hesitate. Go pull the trigger. You won't regret that purchase, because next year it's a whole lot harder to get a license plate there in Shanghai. So what did they change in terms of the rules that has NEO going game over? All right, NEO telling everybody game over. Gotta get your NEOs now. Buy it now. Do not wait. This affects all EVs. All right, all EV purchases in Shanghai. Since 2021 up until the end of 2023, the policy has been that if you paid 12 months of social insurance within a 24-month period, and it doesn't have to be consecutive, as long as you got 12 months paid of social insurance, then you can get a Shanghai license plate. Cool. Very simple, very easy. There's gaps, sure, no problem. Nothing wrong with gaps. You're unemployed for a month and you miss out on the social insurance payment, that's fine. You can still get your license plate. But now in 2024, they're changing that to 36 consecutive months of social insurance payments with no gaps allowed. No gaps allowed. So if anytime you're unemployed and you missed out on a month of social insurance payment, then you got to start all over. The countdown starts all over. Even if you have in total 36 months of paid social insurance, that doesn't matter. It has to be consecutive. That means in 2024, for those people that are going to be qualified to get a license plate, they have at least started working in January 2021 and have not missed a single social insurance payment since then. Now, the real kicker, in my opinion, is the gap. It has to be consecutive, no gaps allowed, which is really, really stupid, because we all remember what happened during spring of 2022. Shanghai had lockdown. People were missing out on their mortgage payments and credit payments and car payments because everyone was locked in their homes. They couldn't do anything about it. They can't even get food, some of them. So it was just a pain in the butt. And those people that missed out on their social insurance payments, they are out of luck. All right. If they want to buy EV in 2024, too bad, so sad. Because for them to get 36 consecutive months, that would mean from May of 2022, that's when they would resume working and resume getting their social insurance payments. Then perhaps May of 2025, that's when they're going to get 36 consecutive months. The real kicker, all right, is that this policy may change further in 2025. We're going to talk about why it's changing. You guys are commenting, oh, is China against EVs? Or what's the whole deal here? But before we talk about that, we got to talk about some of the other changes that they've added, some of the other requirements. So not only is the duration of the social insurance increased 3 times, so 3 times more difficult, all right, there's also the rule of not allowing you to have any existing Shanghai plates under your name. You do, then of course you can't get any more plates. And corporate Shanghai plates used to be that if your balance of your company and the financials is in good standing condition, you can get a license plate. And it's pretty straightforward. And some people, they register a company and basically for the purpose of getting a license plate, and you can do that, and it's pretty smart way of getting a license plate. All right, but now they've added the stupid rule that you have to have at least 5 minimum employees with social insurance paid by your company for at least a year. So That's pretty dumb. That's pretty dumb in my opinion. So all in all, they're just making the rules harder to get a license plate. And guys, it's not like it's going to cost money to get a license plate. Yes, you can spend money to get one if you don't want to go through this whole entire process, but license plate, of course, has always been free. Even here in Beijing, it's free, but it's just bloody hell hard to get. All right, bloody difficult to get. Here in Beijing, you got to roll for it, which is really dumb. Over time, you're seeing what's happening. They're making it more and more difficult, and they're phasing it out so that eventually EVs have the same rules as gas vehicles. And what is the whole reason behind this? Some of you guys wondered, is China against EV growth? No, actually, China is for EV growth, and they have succeeded. All right, they have already succeeded. Already. Success is already there. EV penetration is at 40%, all right? And all these EVs have not been paying purchase taxes, and also they've been getting free license plates at a lot of areas. Seeing that EVs are so successful, it is time for the Chinese government to scale back on some of the incentives. Of course, we saw the subsidy decrease year over year, and no more subsidies, and the taxes are coming up. Another reason that this is all happening is because of traffic jams. China is notorious for heavy traffic jams, and they implemented license plate restrictions for gas vehicles, all for the purpose of easing traffic so that not everybody has vehicles, and it's more like a luck-based system. But to support EV growth, of course, they let EV buyers off the hook. If you buy an EV, you can drive freely. There's no restrictions, no driving restrictions, and it's easy to get a license plate. And it's worked. But now they are scaling that back. Okay, they are scaling that back because 40% EV penetration is already quite high. And one very important argument that I hear here in China that people are saying why this is happening is because if you look at a lot of the public infrastructure road fees, these are paid via the purchase taxes of vehicles and also get taxes on top of gasoline, both of which that EVs have been not paying. All right, EVs did not pay purchase tax, and EVs do not obviously pay for gasoline. So basically, it's the term is 油车养电车. The gas cars have been nurturing the electric vehicle cars. A big portion of the public infrastructure income is missing because of people buying EVs and not having to pay taxes and all that stuff. So it goes hand in hand. What does this all mean for EV sales in Shanghai? It just means it's going to be harder, okay? Rich people, they're always going to find a way to bypass this. Buy a license plate off someone, rent it off someone. There's always going to be ways, all right? Same here in Beijing. It's bloody difficult to get a license plate, impossible. But, there's people that have the license plate permissions, and you can just rent it from them. And you can buy a vehicle like that. It's very common. It's very common here in China. But the catch is it's got to be under their name, and you have a contract like that. And looking at it all objectively, I agree with Neil advertising that it's game over. You got 25 days left. You got 10 days left. I agree with them. I mean, it's much more of a pain in the butt to buy it next year than to buy it right now. So just buy the vehicle right now. But at the end of the day, of course, this will affect EV sales. No question about that. EV sales for everybody in Shanghai. This is going to affect them. It's making it harder for you to get a license plate. How is that not going to affect you? But I did not say that I think deliveries for Neos will fall. It could absolutely fall. But I think that the ET9 hype train will really catapult NIO into another level and cause more people to buy NIOs. Just like back in 2021 when the ET7 launched with LiDAR, it was just so much better than a Tesla. And people just hopped on board the hype train and bought NIOs. And even though they launched the NT 2.0 platform, but people were buying the NT1 vehicles because the NT2 was quite far off. Same situation right now. People are going to be on board the ET9 hype train, and they will be buying NT 2.0 cars. The purpose is more to silence the haters, all right? People saying that NIO charge is slow. You have battery swap, but your charging is still really slow. And also some people saying that NIO has no tech apart from battery swap. So this is really going to silence all those haters. In general, taxes and these license plate 3 times harder to get license plate is going to hurt EV sales in general in Shanghai, but more people will choose NIO because of the ET9 hype. That's my opinion of how things are going to turn out. All right,